Welcome, ladies and non-ladies. Welcome, all of our beautiful lovelies. Welcome back to another wonderful, exciting, fun-filled episode of Cartoon Calamity. Today we're talking about Cybersix.
Let's say fun-filled probably isn't the words to describe the show, but cool.
I mean, our episodes are full of fun, so I think that'll stand the test of time. We are full of fun.
We are so brimming with fun!
We are going to fill you with our fun.
Oh.
Talking about Cybersix.
Oh, no.
Cybersix is a gritty, dark fantasy.
I mean, kind of a fantasy, yeah.
Yeah. Cybersix is based on an Italian comic strip of the series of the same name by Carlos Trio, who was a story writer, I believe, and Carlos Meglia, the artist.
A small point, it's Italian/Argentinian, which is an important note, as we will mention at some point, just to note.
Show was then picked up after its successful run as a monthly comic strip in Italia. And then it was taken on by Canadian production studios, NOA, and then the show was animated abroad in Tokyo by TMS. Tokyo movie Shinsha.
This has a lot going on, basically.
Yeah. Which TMS is the oldest currently working animation studio in Japan, as well as one of like the most, I guess, like I think of when it comes to like my kind of experience with anime, like TMS has had a hand in every anime that I like remember watching when I was younger.
What are the heavy hitters?
Detective Conan, Lupin the Third, D. Gray Man, and also Sonic X. Anime. Which leads me into the full point is that you tricked me into watching an anime. You said
I did, yes. I, under the guise of let's watch this show that has like kind of trans representation, and we'll get into that later. This is an anime. I'm sorry.
You just made me watch Lupin the Third. If Lupin was a lady dressed in black, that's what you did to me.
Yeah, but listen, as I said, it was voted for the patrons, and I'm the only one who's watched this show. So go fuck yourself.
You transbaited them. That's what you did. You transbaited them so hard.
Hey guys, look, cool representation. Getting to watch a fucking anime, fucking idiots.
But yeah, like it has a nice like style to it. And this one thing I'll say for it, it's since it's like a Canadian, Tokyo, Canada, Japanese,
Argentinian, cartoon, Italian, fucking
hodgepodge, melting pot. The style that kind of bleeds through it, which is like I did say Lupin the Third. It just rang to me as very Lupin the Third, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing. It's very nice, colorful. It's also very expressive and creative, and the general shapes and forms of it, fucking beautiful. Looks like 100%. She looks pretty.
It's interesting that you mentioned Lupin the Third because there is a point in my notes where I think it was like the second episode where Lucas is driving through the city, and the scene reminded me heavily of Lupin the Third. That kind of
they do the car chasing thing.
Literally the exact same, yeah. And it's that kind of Italian aesthetic that you do see in Lupin, which recently had a reboot quite recently. Sorry,
it was in the last year, yeah. It came over to American and English audiences, I think. I just be more precise in case the goddamn
Lupin the Third as well. Please go watch it. Lupin the Third is utterly gorgeous and fantastic.
Yeah. And I will say that this show is utterly gorgeous and great in some points. Some parts of it didn't hit me as well. Some parts, like the action was like very, very nice and pretty looking, and I had that like really quirky, cute bits of not quirky and cute. Those are kind of like filler words for it. They had this very, very pretty way of showing character expression through the dynamics and motion, which is really cool. Like moments when Cybersix would dodge hits, and you'd see like even the in between frames were like put in with such patience and diligence to show like her look over and like see how big the impact was and be surprised, and then like go back into the motion. Little things where you could almost freeze frame some parts of like I would say the kind of fight scenes and be like, this is actually a piece of art. That's really cool.
Yeah. It's something we mentioned in the Powerpuff Girls episode, where when you're animating a fight specifically, there is an aspect that you always have to consider, and that's weight. And I think Cybersix does it incredibly well. Whereas that was one of our negative points about Powerpuff Girls.
I'm kind of not fully agreeing with you on weight, because I feel like a lot of the fight scenes, like some punches, some hits are fucking strong. Some like when we get like the Goonies who like punch hard, that shit hurt. That shit looks like it hurts.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
But when Cyber moves around, Cyber's just like it's incorporeal anti-gravity being.
Well, I took that to say that she is a cyborg, and like probably doesn't really follow the laws that we follow.
Very fair, very fair.
So, but that's a point of contention. It's whatever. You're right though. The hits she throws, the haymakers, would make Joe Frazier wince. Frankly.
So getting a little bit back into the actual show's production, show ran for 13 episodes, aired on Fox Network in America, then Teletoons, I believe, in Canada. Then I was shipped abroad to like different companies beyond that. I didn't really take those ones down, unfortunately. So any Italian listeners out there who grew up with Cybersix, I am sorry, but you know, I love
all our
you.
Italian listeners.
That's right. I love you when you hear us. Bellissimo.
Oh God!
I did it. I did.
Yeah, you did in Italian, certainly.
Yeah, I didn't. I certainly did. Cybersix, our titular character, is voiced by Kathy
Westlock. You know her.
The voice of Young Trunks and Chatsu from the Dragon Ball Z dub, which I believe was a Funimation dub she worked on.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. She did a few things because she was in the Black Lagoon dub as well, which I adored.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and she is Spike from My Little Pony.
I'm well aware.
Woo!
God fucking damn it.
She's also the voice behind Adrian Seidman from the same show, who is the Clark Kent to Cybersix.
Looks like every other trans guy I know.
Yeah.
Like straight up, that I love my trans homies, but y'all kind of have the same fucking style.
What, just a trench coat and a suit and tie?
No, like the suspenders and the fucking shirt, and looks like an English teacher. Like, literally.
We have Lucas Amato, local school professor in Himbo.
Yeah.
He's voiced by Michael Dobson.
Yeah, the most top-heavy bottom I've ever seen.
The intro to the show is... who the fuck is her name? The jazz vocalist, Coral Egan. Basically, it was the pipes to a song composed by Robbie Finkel and written by Robert Olivier. Which, I mean, the soundtrack to the show is pretty good. It didn't blow me away. The performance by Coral is beautiful. It's just, it wasn't something that I would sing. It wasn't something that would catch me or like make me think about it and like sing to it later.
It's not wood. It's good. You can't sing that. Her range is quite good.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, like sing along to it in the same way that like I would like, sing along with like the.
I thought you were doing like armchair sports.
Like,
yeah, I could fucking do that.
No, I'm not a fucking hope. I'm not under any fucking pretense that I have the ability to sing. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, like it's just not a song that I'd like hum to myself afterwards. You know, it's not like
really. I really enjoyed not only the theme song but the music. I thought the music was one of the better points of the show. Kind of taking that influence from European styles. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a little of Porco Rosso, the Ghibli film.
Oh yeah, I can see Porco Rosso. Yeah. I can see a lot of.
But that's going back to the Italian thing. So if you watch Porco Rosso, you've watched Lupin the Third, you kind of know the aesthetic that Cybersix is going for, and that extends to the music, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's Porco Rosso, Lupin the Third. If both of those had a love child with Batman the Animated Series.
I literally, the first point in my notes is Batman the Animated Series influence.
And that's a wrap. I think we covered the entire show with that
Nice.
sentence.
That's Cartoon Calamity, folks. Go to patreon.com/Cartoon Calamity. See you later.
Give us money, please. Just give us money. Just fucking please give us some money. Ow, my lip. I can't laugh too hard. Ow.
You're fucking broken.
True. So we start with episode 1, Mysterious Shadow. We start with a man getting into his car just to be kidnapped by some sort of Dr. Jekyll and Hyde from Dr. Jekyll or Hyde? Dr. Jekyll
Both.
Hyde.
Yeah.
From a
Giant.
league
Heckle.
giant. Jekyll. from Dr. Heckle by Dr. Heckle from a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, I've forgotten that fucking movie exists.
Thus topping off my list of very obscure films that probably you get, but maybe not many other people will get.
Yeah, I get it. No one else will fucking know. Like, it flopped so hard, Sean Connery quit acting.
Yeah,
like,
it did.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Ironically, one of the first the first films I thought I really liked, and then watching it back, I was like, "This is horrible."
Yeah, this is garbage.
Yeah.
I liked it when I was a kid. The graphic novels were fantastic. Love them.
I didn't realize there was a graphic novel to it until way into like
wasn't it Alan Moore and everything?
I think so.
Yeah, like proper fucking
Watchmen style.
Yeah.
Then we get our first glimpse of our leather-bound protagonists as they're running across the rooftop, face cloaked in shadow.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then a shockingly British-sounding gent is stopped in car transit by an abandoned vehicle as he sticks his head into the other vehicle. A lumbering snatcher bodies his car and then steals him.
Yeah, I didn't like the British accent. I thought it ruined the immersion a little bit because like it was so British it was comical.
Yeah.
I think they could have just done incidental number 3 and that would have been so much better. Like
probably.
It's a minor gripe, but this is your opening scene. Put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really happen in the rest of the shows though. It's a very strange choice.
Yeah. I don't know about your version that you watched, but I found that the actual like sound mixing was a little bit off.
Where did you watch yours?
I watched it on legally distributed location. I watched it in Kiss Cartoon. That's
really?
where I
watched mine on YouTube because the studio just uploaded all of them.
Really?
Yes.
And how was the quality?
720p, pretty fucking decent for a 90s cartoon, you know?
How was the audio mixing? Is what I mean.
I didn't have it noted. Like as far as I could see, it was grand. It was perfectly serviceable. It wasn't anything bad, certainly.
That's good because I'm confused, but I found like the music levels were always way higher than any of the audio for like the dialogue, and also there was an amount of like I don't know if like some characters like weren't compressed when their like audio was put through, but there's like this weird roominess to it, and I'm like, hold on a second, minor gripe, but it took me out a little bit here and there.
That might have been your version, but maybe have a look at the first like 10 minutes on YouTube and see. But
oh yeah. I will post recording, and right here, future me did a little because we're playing this game now. Ever since fucking Tarzan recording, I'm just gonna have it that future me will throw some sort of edit in here, right? Future me right now. Unlike the other times when you said you do it and you didn't. After watching it on YouTube, record your opinion on it and see if it's the same issue.
The YouTube channel, interestingly enough, of the animation studio you mentioned earlier, it also has all of Sonic X up to watch.
All of it.
As far as I can tell, it definitely has a lot of the episodes.
That's amazing, and I know what I'm gonna spend so much of my time doing instead of any fucking thing productive in my life right now.
Okay, well, listen, amazing. I thought we could get a couple of episodes out, but apparently we cannot. Apologies, folks.
Yeah.
My fucking editor is too busy watching Sonic.
Hey, okay, you watch Sonic X and tell me it's not amazing.
Okay, it's not amazing. It's actually
it's
poor.
Not. It really is.
It's kind of shit, actually.
It is. But I love it.
Oh my god.
So, the duo of Grundys feel the victory of being born on a Monday as they join at the docks with their kidnappees.
It's just going to be like the kid from Foster's where I kept making you lose it. You're just doing that to me.
Yeah, as thing 1 and thing 2 are about to get away with kidnapping. Thing 2 is about to get his head smashed in from the shadow figure before he fucking bodies some boxes.
Yeah.
Boxes are fucked.
Everyone in the show is so fucking top heavy. there's not a single squat between them. All right, these guys are just chest day and arm day, and I respect them for it.
To go back a little bit to your point, I do not like I don't particularly care too much for the names that the official name that was given to these characters.
Well, it was something stupid.
I'm not going to mention it until probably the end of the third episode when I finally write it down on my notes. Because I looked at it the first time, I was like, oh, and since that I've just been calling them whatever the fuck I want. So
no,
get ready.
I do remember. I remember looking it up, and I was also like, wow, that's fucking stupid. Okay, cool. I'm going to call them like Frankenstein. Because that's what they look like. It's
true, though. They do.
Yeah, they have the fucking Timothy McVeigh buzz cut and the green skin.
So we cut to the school where Lucas
Speaking of Timothy McVeigh's school.
Yeah, there we go. These are segues that we plan out in advance, okay? Yeah, when we finally release our script, you're just gonna see what is like a series of segues, which are just horror, like horrific, disgusting things.
We hand our patrons like the script, being like, "Oh, thank you so much for paying," and it's just a piece of paper with coffee stains. I don't even drink coffee. There's nothing written on it. Like,
and then they flip it over, and it's just blood. We divine from that what the references should be.
We fucking Full Metal Alchemist script. Just
yeah, we roll the sheep bones on it, and all of a sudden references show up. Like, oh, that's why only we get it.
I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for our listeners, dude.
I love each and every one of you, but I don't feel a single shred of remorse. Where we are introduced to Lucas, who's giving a lesson on where babies come from.
Yeah.
And just to accidentally let a picture of him, like pre-glow up, slip onto the slides and show him as a little boxer boy. Yeah. Fists up, prepared, little scrawny little boy.
And like the class laughs at it, obviously, because they're basically teenagers, and teenagers, as we know, are the fucking worst. Worst people who have ever existed. And this is a show with Nazis in it.
You show weakness and they'll hunt.
And what happens is Lucas just kind of laughs along with it, and it reminded me a lot of a teacher I really loved in school, genuinely. And I don't know, it was just a nice moment. Like, it was a nice moment of an adult who's in this position of authority not abusing it.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think that was something that was very endearing as character building to show how much of like a beautiful himbo he is. That he equally laughs along with it, you know. He understands that, like, yeah, you know, I was a silly kid too. Ha 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 ha.
And he likes boxing, which we will see when he tries
to
box.
Future
Essentially,
everything.
After watching the TMS official channel's upload of Cybersix. The compression issue that I raised was
to break
completely out of
their own show.
The audio sounds a lot clearer,
that he was going to box the fucking fire in the third
bit of
episode.
like
I was
imbalance in
literally
music
a firefighter.
audio versus audio
like,
audio.
Sir,
but
please, you need water. It's like, no, I will just
stand corrected.
Don't worry, Cyber. I'm here to help you. What does she want?
My boy saw Hajime no Ippo once and was like, that's the life goal.
Then we get the introduction to our, I guess, we get introduced to another character, Mr. Seedman, walking down the hall, side-eyeing Lucas's class, full of fun-havers.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you side-eye Lucas? My man is thicker than a tree trunk.
We get to Seedman teaching class as he's aggressively assailed by his student, Laurie Anderson.
Yeah, she's very creepy. She writes a note just being like, I think I love you, which is hilarious in its own right. Because it's like, I think? Like, that's not the declaration of love you think it is.
So, Laurie is voiced by Janice Jod. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. But she's the voice of Sarah and Lee Kanker from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Oh, no way.
And yes, through one of these roles, whichever one was the prior, has somehow now been typecast as an aggressively forward redhead. Yeah, I found it a very interesting connection. It's kind of weird that a teacher is being propositioned by like their student.
That's happened a few times though. Like when I was growing up.
I didn't go to mixed schools, so I don't know if that like makes a difference really. I mean like. Does this happen that much? Do people like profess their love to their teachers?
Well, like I went to a mixed school, and like it was very obvious when someone had a crush on their teacher. I accidentally let one of mine slip. I was like, fuck, and got a little embarrassed. Nice. But it was fun. No, it's grand. Don't worry. Like,
did you pass like the note to your friend that says, "I think I have crush on teacher," and then they were like, "Ooh, he," and then the teacher was, "What, have you got something to share with the class?"
It wasn't that stereotypical. When I was trying to speak in Irish at least, I just said something in reference to something ugly, and for whatever reason, the teacher answered back, "Is like, oh yeah, like me, ha ha ha." I was like, "Oh no, you're not ugly," and like people took that to like my profession as love.
Oh, nice.
And I was just like, well, no, I'm just saying she's not ugly.
I was totally expecting when you started that, like, I was talking about something ugly. You're about to go into a declaration of love akin to Anakin in episode 2, where he's like, I hate sand. It's rough and coarse. He's just like, I think this thing's ugly. Unlike you, teacher, you're everything beautiful.
Amazingly, 14-year-old me was a better writer than George Lucas in 2005.
I mean, like, I think it's kind of a weird thing. I'd never seen any sort of, like, direct declarations of, like, affection to teachers. I mean, like, pretty sure I accidentally, well, unintentionally flirted with one of my teachers for a while, which is kind of like a weird, like, hither and thither that you know, I don't know if people want to get into the issue before, but it happened, you know. And I think the main thing I kind of took away from this Laurie Anderson encounter was that I really wish just some lady would come up to me and profess their love to me.
I think you're just, like, down bad and you're kind of lonely.
No, I think it's really just a thematic element.
Well, no, take a step back and realize that you are doing a cartoon podcast.
Her advances are rebuffed.
And you live in slight... Don't just ignore me. You little fucking incel.
And I can't wait to pill every single one of you. That's what I'm here for.
Like how we opened like we want to cream pie the audience accidentally, and now we're here. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because after you cream pie them, you have to give them the pill.
Jesus, Connor.
Was that too far? Did I go too far?
It was a little bit. Oh, just a little bit over the line. It's not exactly the Anunnaki, but...
well, I'll decide later if I'll keep that in.
Hey, I denied it straight away, so I'm in the clear. We're good.
Damn right. I'm gonna have the part. I'm just gonna take a like very broken version of you going like, "Yeah, Connor, that's great." Like,
it's like different tones. Like, yeah, Connor, that's great.
So her advances are rebuffed, obviously, and some of the kids in the class are disgruntled by this and intend to teach their teacher a lesson their lessoner a teach, if you would.
Yeah, the background thugs from Akira tried to beat up Lucas.
Yeah, and then they corner Lucas in an alleyway because the teacher won't have sex with one of his students. And the punks start speaking gibberish, or like
No, it was gibberish. No, definitely gibberish. I speak jive, so it wasn't jive.
It was like nonsense talk, and I was really confused. And I really wanted to understand what they were saying, but it felt like they were scatting.
They were doing jazz, freeform jazz.
And like the sharks about to fight the jets, Lucas shows up and intimidatingly kicks a can.
Yes,
causing the ruffians to flee.
Adrian shows up, wasn't it?
Lucas shows up. Adrian's the teacher.
Oh yeah, shit, I'm dumb. Yes.
Yeah. I again, and if I messed up in my own beginning of the sentence, there's the correction for both of us. Just in case.
Class.
And obviously, as any good bromance, or just romance starts, Lucas asks Adrian to get coffee and discuss class and how to turn students down and watch sport ball.
Yeah, I kind of want to speak on the environment used in the show, and that it's genuinely really fucking realistic to small towns, particularly small Mediterranean towns, which I've been to quite a few times, mostly in Italy, weirdly. I spent a lot of time in a place just outside of Milan, and I spent a lot of time in a place called Sassanatico.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've been to like the bars and the pubs and the restaurants there, and they nailed the feeling. The kind of feeling of the old world aesthetic, like almost kind of unsullied. Which, again, sounds like it's being posted by a borderline alt-right Twitter account. But still...
But yeah, no, I do completely agree with you. It does have that very Mediterranean aesthetic. I've been to a few places in Spain that kind of like nestle into that vibe. Places in like the Canary Islands as well really feel this like same kind of like small town, very like what is it? Kind of like cream pastels. Yeah, very very much. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah,
and it's done beautifully in the show. Just as a point,
exactly.
I think it's great.
Yeah, the thing about the actual soundtrack, generally the general instrumentations, orchestration. It has like very classical, like Italian sounds, French sounds.
Yeah, it's very European. With the whole music, I don't like. It was animated in Japan, like we said in the original of the opening. But the way they used music in this show and to kind of convey the environment itself, and we talked a little bit about the environment in the Hey Arnold episode and how you can use the environment as a character. And I suppose in Cybersix, then you can look at how you can use other aspects of filmmaking to convey a sense of environment. And that's what you get with the music. I don't know if I'm talking shit, but I think there's a point in there.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. No, completely. Yeah. I agree. Like, I don't have anything like to add on to that because that was a very concise point.
Sweet, nice.
Oh yeah. When they're at the cafe, Adrian sees a news article talking about the missing people and then dips. Lucas is, I guess, like too enraptured with sports ball and just allows his compatriot to leave. Lucas then, on his leave from watching the games, encounters Big Grumpy, bursting onto the scene, running away from shadowy figure chasing.
Yeah.
Lucas ends up smashing his way through a chicken coop, chasing down the henchman, only for the henchman to be beaten up by Cybersix. Well, actually, sorry, we don't even know who Cybersix is. But beaten up by the mysterious cloaked lady who is crouching above the body of this bested monster, only for her to jump away and the henchmen to liquefy into Utonium rods. You know, the ones that Homer had at the very beginning of like the Simpsons intro?
Yeah, so when the bad guys, I don't know, Green OJ, are beaten, they like melt, their clothes melt off and like kind of Wicked Witch of the West bullshit, and they pull out like a vial of acid. And this is Cybersix food. However, this is not mentioned for the rest of the show. It's only in episode 1 and like the last episode. It's kind of a stupid point.
Yeah. Lucas tries to open the acid, only to be encountered by Leatherlass, who is having a case of arm lightning. And their encounter is cut short as Thing 2 tries to avenge his brother. The fight looks like the cloak and hat lady is about to like get fucking bodied until Lucas tackles the giant out the window to save this lady. But ends up being saved by Cyber, who kicks him back up like 8 floors.
Yeah, Lucas takes all the hits like a champ, which initially is like, oh, cool, so brave, so strong. And you later found out he's just a fucking idiot who wants to fight but has no actual skill.
He's got very Ash Ketchum energy, you know? Like, I'm a run at this motherfucker. Face first. And, oh, wait, maybe I should let the person with superpowers deal with this.
Lucas would sit on a horse that's on fire.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Try and punch the flames out.
Damn it.
So when Thing 2 becomes acid, Cyber drinks it. And as you said, this like, acid is like cyber food. And I believe in the comic series, Cyber is just like a vampire who just like sucks this shit out of people.
They left this bit out of the show. She does have like vampirism, I guess. It's kind of weird. Like some aspects of it, she can be out in sunlight. That's fine. But yeah, like it's a weird thing to cut. I think it would have been cool, but I guess there's censorship stuff. In the comics, there was also quite a bit of nudity.
Oh yeah, 100% full frontal, intense nudity. It was wild. I'm pretty sure there's like sex scenes in it too.
Probably. It was kind of an edgy comic, but it had its moments, and it gave us the show, which I quite like. But listen,
we find then a villainous figure with the same hairstyle as Seedman shows up on the scene to find the empty bottle of acid, which has no acid in it because it's an empty bottle. So it's an empty bottle that would have had acid in it. We cut back to the docks.
We are introduced to our primary antagonist of the series, one von Richter, who in the show isn't explicitly a Nazi, but in the comics, very explicitly is a Nazi.
Yeah, a Nazi scientist eugenicist.
Yeah, if you didn't know, because context is incredibly important, why I wanted to mention that this is a partly Argentinian show and thus the comic as well, is because during World War II, or more accurately, at the end of World War II, a lot of Nazis, through these kind of transport routes called rat lines, mostly facilitated by the Vatican, made their escape to South America, and a number of them settled in Argentina.
So, this is them trying to rat them out, you know?
Exactly, yeah. So, like, it seems very strange to people on the outside, but with context, it's actually quite a cool point to make. And we're introduced to our antagonist, Von Richter, who looks like the cheese string mascot.
Yeah, Von Richter does his best Scar impression from, the Inspector Gadget.
It's not Claw?
Same difference.
I don't know if it's the same difference. I think they're actually Scar's in the Lion King, as far as I know.
And
Claw is actually the villain of Inspector Gadget.
Hand from Inspector Claw.
Is it just you don't want to admit when I'm right and you're wrong?
No, I completely admit. I was just trying to run it. I was just trying to run out the bit a little bit. play it dumb and see if it comes. What?
Sure. Fuck it. Why not?
Dr. Von Riker, who is in fact not like Dr. Hand. Claw. Shit.
Claw. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's one word.
Dr. Von Riker is voiced by Terry Glasson, who's the voice of Eddie's brother from the Ed, Edd and Eddy movie. And
nice.
Also, Tony Parsons from Cramp Twins. Remember Cramp Twins?
Well, unfortunately, yes, I do remember the Cramp Twins.
Yeah, remember Tony? A little tiny...
I don't give a shit.
A little tiny character.
I really don't want to think about the Cramptons until we have to do it.
Yeah.
Because I know what's up on the voting slate.
And to all of our listeners out there, if you want the ability to vote on the next episode that we actually cover, the next show we cover in one of our upcoming episodes, donate a tiny amount of money to our Patreon. Any amount that you,
for voting rights, you just have to do the minimum, which is €2 a month on patreon.com/Cartoon Calamity.
We understand times are hard, and we don't really expect anyone to like really pay for any of this. To be fair, we just kind of love doing this as like a main thing. But if you see it fit to like assist in the show, any amount of money that's kind of put to this does help keep the lights on, keep the show running, keep our cogs greased to let us kind of do this. And we love you all for it. Von Richter asks his son to basically hunt after these vials of acid. His son being Jose, who is just
prick. He has go away heat. He has X-Pac heat, as OSW review would call it.
Lucas starts regaling us the story of the night before to his newfound bro Adrian, who clearly thinking he's goofing around. Tells him like, you're full of nonsense. You are a liar, a goofer and a gaffer. That is until Lucas shows the TMNT goo and Adrian reacts to it. Adrian dips and Lucas, clearly confused, rushes out to ask, "What's up, yo?" Cut to Jose getting his introduction, and he is a tiny child. Woo!
And he goose steps into frame. They are not subtle about this.
Yeah, hella Hitler Youth energy.
Like his uniform is the Hitler Youth uniform.
And no shade to Alex Dodek for his
he was in Inuyasha. Oh my god.
Yeah. No shade for your performance. child actors get like a rough end of the stick most of the time when it comes to most acting. And I mean, like this the voice acting is like an extra boundary, right, for you to actually kind of come across, right, when it comes to something like you don't have as much of the one-to-one interactions that you would with like a live set kind of acting, right? But fuck, do I hate your performance? I'm sorry. Oh fuck. Like you're flat, and you're flat delivery sometimes, and you're over delivery sometimes, and like generally the show kind of, I think like the voice direction was a little bit off. Like people, they have like beautiful voices and they do nice performances, but like sometimes some hits don't land properly for me. But like fuck my god, Jose in particular, fuck me, shit, it's so hard to listen to you when you're on screen.
I felt the same way, and it's unfortunate because Jose is kind of like the through line of antagonists in the whole show.
Yeah, he's the Rita Repulsa.
Well, yeah, it's like Cybersix takes a Monster of the Week format, but Jose's like the kind of introduction to the monster. It's being like Von Richter sends a monster to Jose, and it's like, okay, we have to fight this monster this week.
But a lot of shows do this similar thing, you know, where they have like the main antagonist who summons the monster of the week, as you said,
and that's perfectly fine. It's a good weekly format to have.
Yeah,
it's the entire basis of the Miraculous Ladybug.
Yeah, fucking Jose. We cut back to Lucas and Adrian. Adrian telling Lucas to give the acid to the Night Lady, but Lucas says no. That's the scene. I felt really short.
I'm a big fan of teachers in this universe who dress like they're film noir detectives.
They're all about to go smoke a cigarette and bust a crime syndicate.
They have like the beige overcoats and they have the business slacks and the shirt and the suspenders, but like slightly disheveled. It's a good look. Like any guys listening to this, please, like that's such a good look to have.
100%. As someone who's quit smoking, it has made me so much less attractive. It's ridiculous. Yeah,
smoking is cool as fuck. I just wish it didn't give you cancer.
Yeah, true. And like I also, like as a note, the original comic book does have a lot of like this very kind of dark, gritty like tone to it, and it does ring very much like Sin City, you know, when it comes to like its tone. So in a manner, if you made Sin City like child friendly, you'd kind of have something close to the general style of this show. Spy Kids, Spy Kids, but if Spy Kids was noir.
Sin City.
So we cut to the goons trashing Lucas's place where they find a hole. The goons then leave as Adrian and Lucas show up at the same to see the apartment turned upside down.
Yeah.
And they have like, it's really cute, just missing each other, you know, like shit's passing in the night as the baddies go down the elevator, while Adrian and Lucas took the stairs.
Yeah, they do come up just as the elevator is closing, but they absolutely would have heard them talking. Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of it's a bit of a dull moment. It broke the immersion for me just a little bit, but it's fine.
There are scenes that are put in sequence just in that, like those couple of scenes that just feel like kind of bad. Just doesn't feel great.
Yeah, the show's kind of hit and miss, but I feel like when it hits, it really fucking hits for me. I don't know. It's weird like that.
100%. Like, well, I think it's just like the direction, not the direction, the pacing in these last three scenes, where we have like from the introduction of Jose to the end scene in this chain, which is like Adrian then getting upset for the second time, telling Lucas to give the lady acid, right? Mm-hmm. Right between that moment, just in that like span, I feel like there's so much like either too much rapid movement or just unnecessary fluff, right? Where it's like we cut to Jose, we cut back to Adrian and Lucas. The only thing that's delivered in that line is just Lucas saying no. We cut back again to the goons trashing the place and they find a hole. That's pretty much all they do. They just find a hole and then somehow that means something. Then they leave, and then just as they leave, Adrian and Lucas shows up just to see that the place has been turned upside down. And then the same thing happens again, where Adrian just tells Lucas to give the lady the acid, but Lucas just says no. We could have cut the entire scene of Lucas saying the first time to Adrian that he didn't want to give the lady the acid, but at the same time then, I guess the flow of pace might be a bit weird because we'd have Jose's introduction to cut to them trashing the place. It just felt like this block wasn't paced right. I don't know.
Yeah, like it's kind of a case of like it was rushing into the finale. Because the finale is like in this kind of dock factory type thing where they're producing shit. It's counterfeit money and shit.
Yeah, so we cut to the big spooky mansion where Adrian is upset about Lucas and kind of wanting to be like Lucas's friend and being like, why, what was me? Why can't I be a real human being in this world? Oh, whoa, plot twist. Adrian takes off his glasses. Turns out he is actually Cybersix, our lady protagonist. What?
And the only difference is the glasses, and Adrian wears his fringe up, and Cybersix has her fringe down.
Yeah.
And that's enough. Power of a fringe, man.
Yeah, it's the Clark Kent effect, basically.
100%.
Yeah. And yeah, so then as soon as she dons her leather outfit, holy shit, that she is the leather lady, and it is pretty sick, yo. But if it was the comic books, in fact, we would have had a very gratuitous, overtly nude scene. But thankfully, or unthankfully, depending on where how you apply to yourself and your general fancies, this is a kids show, so we can't have full frontal nudity.
Can't, no, unfortunate, because I don't know, playing with gender, that's pretty fucking cool.
The Goon Squad is waiting outside of Lucas's apartment when Shadow Madam busts through the boarded up hole from the original encounter with Thing 2, just to end up professing a necessity of this acid from Lucas. And as the goons bust in, Lady starts protecting Lucas, confronting Jose to reveal her tattoo. The tattoo saying Cybersix. Whoa, what does this mean?
That's the name of the show.
Whoa!
Oh my god!
And that she is ultimately the one that's behind beating up all these big oafs. The fight scenes are pretty nice. I mentioned before, this is kind of the point where I wrote down the fundamental expression within this fight scene in particular. There's some like nice moments in there.
Yeah, this kind of it kind of just leads into the factory where they're counterfeiting money. Then I believe.
So we got to the docks where the bad guys are counterfeiting money, which they needed hostages for some reason.
Were there hostages?
Yeah, remember the very beginning of the show when like the big oaf grabs old man, then big oaf 2 grabs English accent man.
Yeah, the Manson family rejects kidnap some people to kind of like where how do we make money? How do we counterfeit money?
I don't. Is that what they need them for? Because I still don't know. They just have hostages.
It was a little bit unclear.
they just like it feels like they're doing a checklist of just bad guy things. That's what the bad guys in this show feel like to me. They're just like they have a checklist of like what are bad things we need to do to prove we're bad.
Yeah, like it's just like, oh yeah, here's 1 piece extra 1 and 1 piece extra 2 doing bad guy things. It's whatever. It does the thing, and it leads into the counterfeit factory where we see Leather Mommy beat the shit out of former WWE Tag Team Champions, the Brothers of Destruction.
Hell yes. And as the hench Grundys are all taken down, Lucas is trying to zoom his way here in the scene in his little itty-bitty car racing downstairs. All as we mentioned earlier, the scene is very similar to Lupin III. The warehouse is now on fire as a misplaced RPG starts the blaze.
Yeah, my guy fucking Little Spike Dudley releases an RPG onto a bunch of cans that might as well be marked extremely flammable.
Yeah, and just the whole fucking thing is just lit the fuck up. Jose tries to drive, but is too child. Warehouse explode. Lucas shows up, serendipitously plays a game of chicken with the truck, and the truck gets run off the road. Because that's the thing I didn't understand as well. Why would you do that? You're in a truck. You fucking body that car. He's in like a mini. He's in like a tiny mini.
It's like a Beetle. Yeah. It's like, okay, they're well-made cars, but a truck is more well-made.
True.
Yeah. I've seen Truckosaurus. It's good.
So as the warehouse explodes, Lucas shows up and ends up comforting Cybersix, saying hello, trying to introduce, trying to get meet cute going, just for her to like dip. Then we cut to the electric spooky castle where Dr. Bad has a moment of reflection on how like he made Cybersix. He like looks out in the mirror, in the big window. Then we have like this lightning strike scene, which is mirrored by Cybersix having her Batman the Animated Series standing on top of a gargoyle moment.
Brooding!
Ooh.
She's brooding, and we see the exterior of the castle, and my boy needs cable management.
Yeah, it's Dracula's castle if it was electricity punk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Get fucking Linus Tech Tips or some shit on there. Sort out your fucking wires, mate. What are you doing? Come on.
It's a cable core castle. Dumbest shit I've said so far.
Cable core. You can't just put something core in front of everything, but you can though.
You can. You 100% can.
Okay. Our whole podcast is slacker core. It's great.
Well, yeah, it's cartoon core, slacker core, comedy core. I'll fucking kill it. I'll kill it dead. So, on to episode 2. Data 7 and Julian.
Woo! Data 7, Julian. Furries.
Yeah. Damn right.
We're good. The episode opens up with like kind of a Claw in his data mining castle. Just he's farming Bitcoin. But we also get kind of like flashbacks to Cybersix when she was like a lot younger, and she was Ness. She's gonna PK fire me.
Yeah, true. And from the POV of Lucas, seemingly falling from a cliff, I was
Which
like,
is bullshit. Lucas has a good recovery.
So, I was like, okay, it was a really pretty metaphor. Okay, I get it. Like the innocence lost, the flower being destroyed. I get it. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. So our artists out there, from someone who has created basically no real contribution to the medium of art, please don't ham-fist your metaphor over and over again. Like, fuck me. It was good. It's good. Like, those metaphors are good. Visual storytelling is beautiful. This is a fucking very beautiful image. But I loved it the first 3 times.
Yeah, once or twice, great. Good for, like, flashing back. Just like, oh, this is an important aspect. You do it 7 or 8 times, it loses its impact. We talked about weight in fight scenes. You've just lost all the weight.
Weight in metaphor, okay? Stops being a metaphor, it starts being filler, and it's just fucking frustrating, okay? But I thought it was a good metaphor.
The first time it did it, great.
Yeah. So we get a memory of Panther looking at this Panther being thrown on a cliff, I guess. Yeah, the Panther's being thrown off, right?
Yeah.
And we cut to from a cyber mansion to a busted mansion where we meet Julian, who's being Oliver Twisted by some squeaky voiced thug.
Yeah, his kind of landlord / boss, Joe Pesci with half the fucking charisma, but twice the size.
Twice the size, and is a chain smoker.
Yeah, well, you look me in the eye and tell me Joe Pesci isn't a chain smoker. Fuck off.
Well, Joe Pesci doesn't consistently cough midway through line deliveries. Which is a weird character choice, you know? He's memorable. I'll give him that. He's memorable. I remember him.
The most annoying voiced character in the fucking show. Really giving Jose a run for his money. But yeah, Julian, who's the typical pickpocket orphan. I quite like this character trope. It's a really nice way to build just like, here's someone who's fairly normal, just has it a bit rough, and can easily build sympathy.
Very Aladdin energy. That we get, and that's kind of the reason I like Aladdin as a character, even though he is like a lying narcissist who kind of like ends up like building like a kind of attempting to entrap a princess using like falsity and
well, that's what you are.
Yes, I am. Well, I am just like this is a great moment we're having right now, Lily, that I'm confronting my imposter complex. Thank you very much. I'm glad we can do this live.
No, we're okay. Let the people hear. Let air out your dirty laundry.
And yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, I would agree. I really vibe with all aspects of Aladdin, especially the counterfeiting a character, right? Yeah. So
cool.
As Julian prowls the market looking for some petty work, he gets none. We cut to Big Chungus giving his take to the boss, only to be met by a squad of Jose and his monochromatic dream thugs.
Yeah, the dream thugs do one of my favorite character tropes for strong characters, and that's not using the door but just punching a hole in the wall. Which is just my favorite, and I can only think of another instance on my notes when I was writing it down, and that is the hippopotamus from Madagascar doing it.
Okay, so Julian is slouching off on his pickpocketing. Mm-hmm. We cut to Adrian and Lucas hanging out, looking for a bookstore, where Adrian quotes Shakespeare.
I think so, yeah. Like English teacher shit, you know?
Yeah. Although I'm pretty sure Adrian was supposed to be a classics teacher, which is like an interesting.
No, it's English. Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I'm getting confused with the Adrian in the comic book. One of the
maybe.
Yeah. But
it's more like every trans guy I know is like wants to be an English teacher. So I'm just kind of rolling with it.
That be how it is.
It do be. I'm allowed to say it. I'm trans. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. I win the Minority Olympics.
You can say the T word. I can't even think about it.
And if you do, you owe me a $5.
Yeah, I have it's a new leftist thing. You know, I put a shock collar on me, and every time I think bad thought, I just start shocking myself. Yeah, was it 2 + A is 5, or where the fuck the meme is from? Sorry, that's like such bullshit. That's like such half meme Orwell shit.
Like that was almost like a rambling you'd hear on Fox News.
Julian picks a pocket of Adrian. Adrian notices that his wallet is missing, and Lucas launches into chasing down Julian as Adrian skulks into an alleyway to use his super jump power to hunt down this child.
Big boy jump.
Damn right.
Adrian tracks down Lucas and realizes that the only reason you wanted the wallet in the first place was because there was a photo of Ness and Lucas in there, i.e. Adrian's childhood.
Yeah. Which is kind of strange as well, because when Julian checks the wallet and is like, Julian is surprised that there's a picture in it. And I thought that's like a normal thing people do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, because I think it's just an omen to having a tragic backstory. And I'm not about to be shot at the back of a theater.
I'm not about to be signed up for war. I'm not about to have a tragic moment where I exposit my backstory about how awful I have it or how beautiful my time is in my history with some fucking person over a campfire.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Lily, do you want to lock it? She's like, the fuck I do? No.
Do you want me to die tragically?
I'm gonna die at 90 high on morphine in a retirement home, fucker. Alright?
That's so good. When Adrian shows up to get the wallet back, grown-ups lecture Julian on stealing is bad. Adrian, reunited with his wallet, stares fondly into the picture that Dr. Bad Guy was using at the beginning. Just
PK fire.
Damn right. And at that point, PK fires the wallet to Julian, who then...
and then just stun locks him.
Yeah,
it's really annoying.
Actually, what was crazy is that he power shields it, and then it gets sent back because Julia's like, "Nah, this wallet, I'm too good for this wallet, yo," and then like it leaves.
I like how this podcast has just turned into the reference power hour. That's all, and like there's all aspects of nerd culture. It's not just like video game. Like we reference musicals and Live Leak.
Mm-hmm. It's We are your basement dwelling best friends.
Oh, if this was the 90s, we would have sold you some good weed.
Oh, goddamn. And if this wasn't lockdown, we still would have.
Yeah.
So, the Julian ends up going... Oh, sorry. Before that, Goon Gang kicked down all the doors of local crime monopolies just so that Jose can rule the underground.
Mm-hmm.
Underworld, not underground. Very different things in meaning.
He uses the Gretzky bunch to kind of make a power grab.
But hold up. A fucking panther shows up.
Yeah, dude! It's the fucking most metal shit. Oh.
It's just like, the panther fucking leaps through the window, and it's just like, bitch, I'm in charge. And like, this fucking child is fucking freaking out. It's just like, yeah, I win now, I'm in charge.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Giovanni sent you, cool. Like...
So the panther shows up.
It's Giovanni and Meowth.
This is the most metal Persian I've ever seen in my life.
And then what if you were just like doing your thing day to day and a fucking panther shows up? It's like, I'm in charge now.
It's the fucking what? I don't know. I accept it. I'm like, this is my fate
now.
now.
What are you gonna do about it? You know?
So the panther ends up stalking the rooftops and finds tasty Julian, only to be distracted by the flower girl holding flowers, causing a flashback of the flowers, which fucking ends up having, the panther being Kazuya Mishima off a cliff.
Yeah, and the panther has PTSD.
Fucking straight up.
Yeah, and just fucking bodies itself. I don't know, it tripped on its own shit.
Lo and behold, in front of Julian, a wallet falls out of a very kind lady's pocket, only for Julian to grab the wallet and Adrian to observe Julian's crisis of conscience, as he returns the wallet and is rewarded with a kiss, which I feel like isn't a thing that happens that often.
No, I've returned a lot of lost items, and the most I've gotten was a scowl.
Mm-hmm.
And Julian fucking gets a kiss like a dumb bitch. This is my incel moment. I'm sorry, I'm jokerifying myself.
Yeah, and to be fair, it doesn't help that every time I return an object to someone, I pucker up.
Absolutely.
Which I feel like might be sending wrong messages.
Well, actually, no. Hold on. I do have a story about this. One time when I was in Cork, when I was growing up, I found this was obviously a little girl's bike in a back alley around my estate. And honestly, I brought it home. And just like, hey, I found this. It was just kind of left there. And it turned out, in the next day on the local newsletter, we read it, and there was a wanted thing just being like, hey, we lost a bike. If anyone has it, can you please contact this number? And we did, and it turns out it was their bike. And they came in, and the dad of the little girl tried to give me €50, and my mom said no.
Oh.
And I was like, motherfucker.
Just turn to your mom, was like, bitch, I could have bought myself a SNES.
I could have left the bike there to rust, mother. Your boy wants to give me €50. I will take the €50. I'll give you a €10 finder's fee. Just look the other way, mother. Even when I was 12, I was a little fucking mafioso piece of shit.
Hell yeah, it's venture capitalist. I gotta respect it.
God bless. God bless.
Papa bless. That's a bad reference to such a horrifying reference on 3 levels.
Is that H3 was
that? Was a H3 reference about Papa
Jesus.
John's. That's like fucking. That's like the 6 degrees of fucking awful all the way down. That's like the PewDiePie pipeline of fucked up reference material all the way through.
Yeah, I love a podcast where just nothing gets said at all, and they arrive at the exact same positions they had beforehand.
I'm like, I mean, like, what's kind of fucked is like, it's like listening to the H3 podcast is just listening to an old out of touch fucking millionaire, getting pissed off about shit that doesn't really make much of a difference. And
at least we're self-aware that the cartoons just don't matter at all.
Most of our jokes have a point as well, and also cartoons do matter. And I believe that you don't believe that. I don't think you. No, I don't believe that. Yeah, 100%.
I literally have cartoons tattooed on my body, dude.
Yeah, cartoons are 100% meaningful, and this is not a thing. And that's, I mean, like I know you don't mean that, but I want the lovelies out there listening to know that that the cartoons do matter, and we all love cartoons.
It's comforting the kids. Like Lily didn't mean that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. In case because I don't know, there might be some of the lovies out there that listen to our opinions and think that our opinions have some sort of weight in them, right? And if they hear you say that you don't like cartoons, you think they're pointless. Well, I mean, it'd be weird for you to say you don't like cartoons. You love cartoons. But, I think that that's a lie, and we shouldn't lie to be bold-faced, right? Compared to the H3 podcast, who it's just all lies and it's all shit and all platforming of ultimately fucked up people like John Jafari who hate black people. Yeah. When H3 tried to rebound John back into relevance again, and I was like, oh yeah, it is kind of weird that rich black people do crime too, and it's like, wait, what?
My guy, what? What? You are video game YouTubers. Shut the fuck up. All you have to do, if you get any crumb of fame, you follow a simple rule. You shut the fuck up, and 90% of your drama is gone.
The Panther, for the third time, has a mind freak seeing the girl, and then is all like, "Yo, that's young C6. What's happening? Oh, flower, flower, flower." Then, afterwards, now we cut to Julian doing as all good orphan kids do, which is slide down a solid stone banister and handstand walk on metal bars.
He should be in Cirque du Soleil.
And
what he does is actually incredibly impressive.
110%. Also, the kid should have no gooch skin at all.
No, absolutely not. It's actually just a void. It's neither here nor there. You have to understand Julian's gooch. You have to understand the zeros, not the ones.
It was between the binary.
But it's a gooch.
So, Julian is unfortunately bumped into by the smoking inhalation, by Smokey the inhalation bear. Who literally just pushes Julian around to steal more. Like, that's what he does. He I wish I was joking, but he actually just like, "Hey, you didn't steal anything?" I just start shoving Julian along, like, "Hey, go steal some shit." Cut to inside a broken mansion where Jose is...
It's a theater. It's a theater. You have to be very fucking dramatic to make an old abandoned theater your fucking base. But Jose and the Anunnaki, if they read Jordan Peterson, managed to make this their fucking base for the day.
Which is where Jose was originally living with Big Pimp. Adrian has been following Julian this entire time and then notices Jose. C6 is then upset that she let 29 down, motivating her to save Julian. She breaks into the mansion. C6 shows up to help. Sorry, not mansion. Breaks into the theater. Shows up to the theater while the Panther is prowling around in the background. Ends up meeting Julian and then promising, Julian of the world, being all like, "I'm gonna get you out of here, boy. You ain't gonna have to live in here no more." Bad guys are having a feast. And then we cut to a fight which starts to ensue between the Panther and C6.
For once, the big cunts, the Bayonetta mains, are not involved.
And things look very dire as C6 is being beaten by the Panther. They start going through this. The fast scene in Dragon Ball Z where like the blurs start hitting each other and they start flashing. A lot of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, only for Julian to start dropping stage lights and props on the Panther.
It's a pretty cool scene. I like fight scenes that take place in theaters. It's happened a lot. It happened in the most recent Mission Impossible movie, weirdly, and I thought it was great because there's a lot to play around with because the backstage theater stuff is all like pulleys and walkways, and I think it's just a very creative way to do a fight scene.
I completely agree. Yeah, nice levels of verticality and nice, like, very colorful props that can be thrown in as just like you fight this, you get hit by this, and all that kind of stuff is great. Panther's about to like kill C6 when Julian Spider-Man swings in to save the day, only for Julian to start falling, triggering PTSD in C6, who jumps to the rescue to save what she thinks is 29. Data 7 slashes at C6, who's holding Julian's life in her hands, only for the picture from earlier to be swiped out of her glove? Bra?
Yeah, sleeve? I would have said sleeve.
She doesn't really have sleeves.
She does. They're just leather. Leather can be sleeves.
No, she has like she's half sleeves. They're like rolled up,
Yeah, but like when you're because she's not wearing a bra. She doesn't have the bust for a bra.
I would refer to you to the source material, and she hella has the bust for a bra. I'm gonna give you that. Woo! I'm pretty like, if she's free fucking bra in there, she's free boobing it. That leather must be so constricting to keep those
friction alone.
To keep those fucking absolute Goliaths of things maintained in single position. Whew! Oh my god! Holy shit! I'm sweating now all of a sudden.
God damn it! It's because it's like getting into summer. We're fine.
Yeah, and I'm fucking horny for those titties.
God damn it! Fuck!
So Data sees this picture and then realizes that he misses C6. And actually, he is the boy from the photo.
Oh, in the most obvious foreshadowing ever.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. I'm kidding. I fucking saw it coming.
No, it was grand. It was whatever. Like you said, the foreshadowing scene is quite cool and quite pretty. If it wasn't done a million fucking times.
100%. At which point the trio just destroy everything because of so a fire ends up getting started classically by the fucking the Goonies destroying the fucking set, shooting fucking rockets at everything because that's what they fucking do. And then again, all the fucking things that they had, which again is like, why are the bad guys even doing anything? Because all they were doing was trying to control the underworld, but all they did was just like fucking rendezvous weapons in this theater. What are you doing with them? You're just having fucking elaborate feasts.
I think they're just like really bad gun runners. Maybe that's the whole fucking thing. I don't know.
And everything starts blowing up. Then we get everyone leaving, and turns out C6 and 29 are related. Which actually I didn't know. I was wondering what their relationship dynamic was, but I guess like that was the point where I was like, oh, okay, so they're related.
I thought that was obvious, but listen, you're you.
Yeah, never had a sibling in my life. Bam.
That's fucking weird.
Now the bad guys are beaten up and the family is reunited, and I guess Julian is now homeless, but not being bullied.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the moral I got from it. I'll be real.
Bullying bad, I guess.
It's beautiful, right? The kid's saved from his Oliver Twist bullshit, right? But where's he gonna live? He doesn't live with Adrian. Where's he living? Where the fuck is that kid living? They just look at the sunset like, oh, isn't that a beautiful day? Now what? He's just on the streets? What?
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of weird messaging. The child is now homeless,
but he doesn't have a pimp.
Yeah, fucking Joe Pesci is dead or gone or whatever. I don't know. I know what happens because I've seen the show. He becomes like a street magician.
Yeah. I know I do actually know he's a recurring character.
Yeah,
because I osmosis through other research throughout the rest of the show just to get a little bit more informed, and I can understand that these characters do actually recur a lot more and have a bit more of an impact on it.
That doesn't mean he has a house.
Yeah, it does. It don't. It just felt like for that as the closing, I was like, I know this is beautiful and everything, your sunset goodbyes, but kid doesn't have anywhere to live now.
You got a fucking panther out of the deal. This kid doesn't even have a roof over his head.
Oh fuck! So let's launch into the finale of our cold reads, warm reads, our reads on
our lukewarm reads.
The third episode, Tara.
Yeah, not the Teen Titans character.
Thank you for doing that because I was about to launch into it. You know it. You fucking know it.
I'm well aware, and I don't want you to talk about Teen Titans anymore. I'm kind of over it.
I did love Tara though because goddamn,
everyone did.
Yeah. I was more of a Raven kid though because I'm like
Goth GF.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah. I was Jinx all the way.
Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, I didn't know if you'd know Jinx off the top.
Oh, I liked Teen Titans, dude. Don't worry.
Jinx is the best. All right, when Jinx showed up, when Cyborg was going deep undercover in Hive, and then Jinx was throwing herself at Cyborg, I was low key angry. I was like, "Don't you do this, Cyborg? I love you, bro, but don't you do this, all right? No. You're gonna break her heart because she'll find out that you're a good guy and not a bad guy." Also, the most I just think from my opinion on it, because only getting 1 or 2 episodes, Kid Flash in the 3rd season of Teen Titans is the best character. He's just the coolest fucking character in the entire show, and I think people should respect him way more.
Did you watch Young Justice?
I did.
Yeah.
An ex of mine told me to watch it because she loved it, and she was like, "You like Teen Titans? You love Injustice?" And I'm like, "I do really like it, but it's still not Teen Titans. It didn't scratch the itch.
No, I don't think it's as good as Teen Titans. It's well worth a watch, though.
100%, 100%, dude. I believe I mentioned in Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Jinx was one of my young boy crushes. There we go.
Oh, absolutely, we're good.
100%.
Mine was Wendy, Gravity Falls.
Oh, easy clap on that one.
Redhead? Nice. Cool.
That's all you need, right? That's all you need. Frankie for Foster's Home, easy.
Oh, true.
All it is, all right?
True.
Yo, Misty. Misty.
Misty.
I like shoehorned Lusty and Misty, like my feeling. I remember being like a little kid and like seeing Misty and being like, this is great. I like seeing Misty and not comprehending the feeling that was happening in my mind. I was like, this is a great show.
Oh, crop top and suspenders, huh? That's a really cool fashion choice.
We open on Cyber Mansion as it is storming, just to like, let's get a cold shower on like our ramblings. Dr. Notgood is working on electrocuting a metal cylinder.
Dr. Notgood? Just like the laziest writer in the fucking world, I kind of respect it.
I only have so many.
Dr. Rongula. We're good.
The Doctor ends up creating Terra, a creature that's made of the first primordial mud on Earth, aka Clayface, Sandman, Plasmus, that black sexy goo lady from Batman Future Series. Basically bad guy goo.
Can you stop lusting after villains? No, the answer is no.
All right, any of our lovelies and maybe first-time listeners, anytime listeners in general that are out there who know the sexy black goo lady from the Batman Beyond series, fucking look me in your device of choice that you're listening to this podcast on, and try your fucking damnedest to tell me you didn't find that lady hot, okay? Oh. And I know she'll kill you. It's like Black Widow effect. That's what it is, baby. It's praying mantis DNA in my fucking brain. All right, I'll hit it even if I know I'm about to die. All right, that's the shit. I had the weirdest adolescent moment when she was like throwing black goo down like young new Batman from the Future series' throat and killing him. I was like, I don't know why this is hot.
And that's when you got a bukkake fetish. I still can't bring you around construction sites because just like when they're putting down tar for the roads, you just go off.
I do. I go on. It's uncontrollable, really, and I just start lusting after it, and I have so many second-degree burns.
You have like 5 foreskins and 4 of them are fucking tar, dude. How many licks does it get to take to the center?
So Jose is Freaky Friday'd with the goo, who is upset ultimately about how trash his son is after the Freaky Friday incident. So Jose starts melting minions into the goo.
Yeah, they used the Charles Robinson gang. And they devil their way down to Georgia and create a fucking a kaiju, essentially.
We cut to school where Lucas is doing science and making liquids.
Yeah, he just says, I'm doing an experiment, which is like, oh, okay.
Right.
And
Adrian asks Lucas how he's doing, and then Lucas retorts with asking Adrian out on a date to the movies to watch a romance flick. I kind of read it as a soft date.
Yeah, Lucas is bi at least, you know?
Yeah.
I would say, which I'm fine with. We need more bears in media.
Adrian turns him down, however, which it has an amount of reticence to it, like a reluctance to get close, which is then later confirmed as C6 is pondering on what it would be like to actually go with her heart's desire and go out with Lucas.
It's quite a nice scene, and it's a weird way because obviously Lucas asked Adrian out as a man, whereas then Cybersix is dreaming about their date as a woman. Which is a really strange dichotomy I didn't even fucking think about until right now.
You do raise a good point. It is an interesting dichotomy that's kind of like unfolding through this, yeah. As we get like C6 wishing to actually like, you know, show her true self to Lucas. Lucas is in fact then Goozilla breaks out, starts running amok.
Goozilla,
yeah. And as C6 and Data 9 are hanging out, C6 wanting to have her like true love's first kiss with Lucas. Lucas is in line in the romance film getting a pity pop from the little girl in front of him, who can clearly see that he's alone going to a romance film.
It's a little sad. I love going to the cinema on my own, but I'd maybe think twice about a romance.
Yeah.
Also, I'd think twice about accepting a lollipop from a little girl.
Just as he's about to accept this pity pop, the goo, Tara, shows up and tries to steal the girl and her mother, which, I mean, actually, Tara successfully steals the girl and her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucas then chucks partition pillars at the monster, who decides to drop the mother and daughter in exchange for the shiny thing, only to be...
I get it.
Right?
I really like, yeah, shiny thing good.
Yeah, right?
My dumb monkey brain, no matter how much I like pretend to know what I'm doing and how much theory I read, ultimately it's just, yeah, shiny thing good. Yes, ooh, cool.
Yeah, no matter how much you read film theory, at the very end of it, I just imagine you like closing this big compendium of knowledge and then turning to a pen, just clicking it on and off over and over again, listening to the noise like, ooh, this is so good.
Ultimately, we are magpies. That's all.
Shut up. This is my shiny thing.
Lucas, best boy, just try and fucking outboxes the 40-foot clay monster. Goes in for the fucking Dempsey roll.
Yeah. And like ends up being like full on captured by this creature, who, I will say one thing that annoyed my lizard brain was that that Tara did not clap the pillars together. I wanted that to happen. I wanted like a ding ding ding, like, you know, the monkey with the hats. That would have been fucking great. So then C6 throws one of the pillars at Tara, but Tara has learned and bats it away.
Monkey brain go burr. Literally like fucking the mice in the cheese maze.
Yeah, completely. 6 and 7 work together to AT the monster, only for Tara to balloon up and break. The Cloak and Cat double team and end up freeing Lucas from the goo monster, only for it to seep into the walls and then catch C6, sucking the lightning out of her. At which point, during the big suck, Tara takes a ball of pink, which causes Tara to existentialism.
Yeah, the show made me weirdly emotionally resonate with the 30-foot clay monster. And just realize what you are, like looking down at your hands, like you're having a bad trip, just thinking, what the fuck? What the fuck am I? This part was more of a trans metaphor than anything with Cybersix and Adrian.
I completely agree. And so it turns out what Tara took was a taste of love from out of C6 and wants to know what love is.
Yeah.
What this abyssal force of not understanding is and why it was horrifying Tara so profoundly. Which is fucking wild. So C6 goes to try and teach Tara.
This is the fucking Guillermo del Toro movie. What's it called? The one where he fucks a fish.
Shape of Water.
That's the fucker. All you I know there's some people listening to this. All you monster fuckers out there. This is for you.
Oh, we love each and every one of you.
Because we are you.
C6, Tara runs away because it's so hard to actually face the meaning of love rather than... it's so much easier to run away from love than to face it and understand it. C6...
Is that a Meatloaf lyric?
Like a batter to hell, Tara runs till the morning comes. C6 and Lucas try to have a moment, but Lucas is left on the rooftop, wanting to make the moment last.
I'm shocked you didn't try the box ish, I guess.
See,
are you really getting to existential problems? Can you like Dempsey roll the feeling of loneliness? Did Ipo ever do that? No.
So Tara doesn't want to hurt C6, and Jose puts Tara in a cage. Jose ends up holding Tara over a Lazarus pit fueled by all the most violent creatures on the earth.
a polar bear.
Yeah, a bear and like a Venus flytrap or something.
Which is a terrifying thought.
It's like that fucked up concoction of things. And this Nickelodeon goo turns Tara feral. C6 notices some fixed ideas running into a building and chases them. The big dumb monsters we've been talking about this entire time are called fixed ideas.
They are. Yes, that's why we just kept calling them other names that were better, because that's a stupid fucking name.
Exactly, right? And technically speaking, this is the first time you hear this as audience members.
We've mentioned it a few times, yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is the only time that C6 they're even mentioned by like what they are as name. Because like because C6 looks down and is like, fixed ideas. Where are they going? And I'm like, what?
Like, excuse me? They weren't just called like Timothy McVeigh and his army of frenemies?
Yeah, like, which would have been fucking funnier, or at least more accurate. Like, what the fuck are these things? Anyways, the fucking fixed ideas.
Yeah.
Run into a building, C6 chases after them, only to fall into a trap, where everything in the room is Tara, and Tara angry and gonna kill.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty cool visual, like, Tara, like, takes up the entire walls and everything. It's like a weird existential thing.
Yeah, and it's as you mentioned, it's a fucking cool visual. Like, it's horrifying. It's some like House of Wax, Junji Ito levels of fucking like how would you deal with a room doing that shit? Like pure fucking horror shit. C6 escapes just in time into the Nickelodeon slime pit, only to then further run into a tower where she has to run up while being chased by the goo monster, not the goo pit.
It cuts to kind of an outside bit where Jose and the Cork Under 12's hurling team decide to set fire to the tower.
And I Jose, what's your point in this whole fucking show? What do you do as a character?
I hate Jose so much. He really actually devalues the entire fucking show.
Like, I mean, I'll be real in a manner. Like your setup is kind of like, oh, the damsels run into a tower, a la Rapunzel by being chased by the dragon. Like, I get it. You're kind of working with like straws here, but don't fucking set them on fire. What the fuck are you doing? Like, what
also,
is your point?
It's clay. You'll just harden it. Like,
exactly. So as Jose burns the fucking tower, trapping both C6 and Tara in there, we cut to Lucas, who sees a fire and is like, well, I gotta save the day. Fire means C6 in danger.
Fucking useless piece of shit panther, whose one job was to make sure Lucas didn't leave. Just looks at him, and Lucas goes, oh, I'm going to help Cybersix. And Panther's like, alright.
I'm pretty sure, like Dana's response was something akin to, like, oh yeah, let's save her. Cool things, bro. Let's go. Like, what are you...
You dumb piece of shit. Fuck you. What are you doing? What are you doing, bro?
So, we then come back to the inside of the tower, where Tara is doing the suck again, and gets a taste of love, only to relapse into who am I-isms.
Maybe that's a logical fallacy. I don't know. There's like whataboutisms, but there's also who am I-isms. You know? It's that moment when Jordan Peterson actually realizes he is Kermit the Frog in a flesh suit.
Yeah, has a moment of like feeling love for the first time in his mortal body, and then realizes that he can't chase the metaphor of his father through the 6 circles of hell. Like, I don't where the fuck nonsense he talks about when he's trying to like suck the dragon's tail through his nose, and then like realize the eclipse of the eternal sun. Have you read any of his books? They mean nothing.
It's clean your room. It's like, yeah, okay, clean your room is good advice, but don't buy a book about it.
Yo, beyond that, like, legitimately, look at any of his philosophy or fucking metaphysics, where the fuck is he has in his books, right? He's got one book which has diagrams in it. And the diagrams his diagrams are like, you know, the biblical like depiction of angels, right?
Yeah.
How like that shit's just fucked up and makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that, but diagrams, where he's trying to explain shit, nothing, and still nothing. It's so incongruous. Nothing makes any fucking sense.
Yeah, he's a hack.
Take Truffles and read his books. I don't know. Actually, don't, in case you learn something wrong. I don't fucking know.
Wrong thing.
I don't fucking... I don't know. Like, I don't know. I guess this is how fucking... C6 and Terra hug only for C6 to save Terra through Pokemon tier magic.
Heartbreaking scene. Except for the most recent version where they gave Pikachu a voice.
Ash, I love you!
That's it. Shut the fuck up, you demon hellspawn creature. You are a rash. You are a yellow rash.
Never wanted to punt an animal more in my life. Actually, no, I'm lying. I've seen Scrappy Doo. I'm sorry. I was
Absolutely.
lying. I'm lying.
I don't know, like what Pokemon will be the easiest to punt.
Scrappy Doo.
Scrappy Doo.
Easiest one.
My favorite Pokemon, Scrappy fucking Doo.
Your favorite, my least favorite. Let's go.
It's only my favorite because I can send him out to die.
Yeah, I choose him in Pokemon Black and Blue version. Terra starts to put out the fire, and in the process killing himself, which is, it felt kind of unnecessary in a manner. To me, it's heartfelt. Let me just get that out there.
Yeah, like it's well done, but like you realize there are easier ways to get out of this.
Yeah. Case in point, Terra busts open a door that just leads out to the edge of the tower that should let, like, you can just jump down, right? So what Terra could do is just douse some of the flames blocking the way so C6 could jump out, because we have seen canonically from this show already C6 is capable of falling from, like, at least, like, 8 stories and surviving with very little effect, right?
In heels as well.
In heels. And keeping her hat on. Like, like, girl, like, how do you do that? Good shit. But Terra decides to noble sacrifice himself, allowing the C6 to walk down the tower, which tragically Terra is ultimately turned to ash, and then C6 has lost a friend, and then this is kind of I feel like the most poignant point, which is something that I kind of brushed over when I mentioned the Pokemon tiers part, but C6 understands that Terra is a creature constructed, right? One that was made as a biological weapon. And this is the kind of crisis of identity that C6 deals with through the entire show. That of, like, I am not actually a human. When we actually, like, refer to the original text as well, the main complication between C6's burgeoning relationship with Lucas is that she keeps telling him that she's not human, right? And that's the part that they can't be together because of it. But then in the original text, Lucas just, like, pulls her tits out and is like, but these are some real ass titties, yo. And in this, I believe that they actually end up having a very romantic kiss after, like, some sort of climactic, like, someone was about to die moment, right?
Yeah, they do. And the whole thing with Terra, it basically just Iron Giant in 2 minutes.
Exactly. Completely.
So, like, it's just like, what if a gun had feelings? That's literally the Iron Giant's kind of plot.
Yeah.
And it is poignant, but it ultimately is, I think it's kind of overruled by you could have escaped. Like, very obviously you could have escaped, and I think it kind of ruined it a little. Yeah.
Taking that little tiny, like, tidbit out, I do completely it is still a poignant point that we have this this very clearly a weapon gaining sentience and feelings and understanding, like, a moment of self-reflection of, like, what is the purpose of myself besides to destroy? I want to have something more, right?
Yeah.
Which allows then C6 to have a I guess, like, a parabolic mirror, like, what's the term for it? Like a sort of, like, a funhouse mirror reflection of, like, this is what I kind of am to some degree. This is, like, me to an nth degree. This is, like, the terror that I believe I am, an actual monster in, like, with sentience, reflected back at me, right? Which is very poignant and tragic, and we get that kind of moment. This is actually at the end of the episode. We have the goons running off, Terra dead, C6 sad, and Lucas coming to console her. And then I guess that's the show, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I say that's pretty much it. It was still quite good in my opinion, but we'll get into our feelings.
Yeah, like, I'm here and there on it. I'm like, it has some very nice like visuals. It's very interesting kind of like style to it. Some parts feel a little bit like lazy. Some parts feel not lazy. Some parts don't like satisfy me too much. Other parts are kind of like very kind of like dynamic and interesting. The stories from the 3 episodes kind of feel a little bit like paper thin. A little bit.
It's Monster of the Week, like 100%, and that does have an aspect of it where it can be a bit not great, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like I still love shit like Power Rangers. It's very pretty interesting. It did feel a lot like the bad guys scenes were just like shuffling pieces on the board just to like pad out time or just to fill some sort of space, right? That in part we could have almost had like the shows condensed a little bit shorter than like a 23-minute runtime, but again, it did leave it to have more like fun, some like very pretty looking scenes of Adrian and Lucas having like character development with each other, which I thought was like nice. You know, we have some like good moments. There's a lot of walking with trench coats.
There is, but I feel like the strongest moments of the show, for me at least, were just the regular day-to-day interactions. Which is a shame because that's the vast minority of the runtime.
Yeah.
As far as like how I feel about the show, like it begs mentioning how the show plays with gender and representation, which I know I have banged on and on about before in previous episodes. But like this is a very overtly gender fluid storyline.
I don't know how this is a trans piece, like, because it's the same as like the 12th Night, you know, the Shakespeare piece where like a woman disguises herself as a man to serve a duke, just to like get into the duke's court and like kind of live out her whole thing. Because like according to like the material, C6 is a genetically created woman who's like a super soldier, but she disguises herself as a man to hide from Von Richter, while the entire time through the story should be like trying to fight back the love interest that's burgeoning on one side from her between herself and Lucas, while Lucas is then just kind of like having a fascination with this beautiful leather-clad woman who's like fighting crime in the background that he's kind of like being brought into the fantasy world of, right? Like C6 is a really cool female protagonist, like really fucking sick. Her design is amazing. It's Batman vs Lupin the Third, and it's fucking sick, yo. It's cool to see like a powerful badass like fucking female character, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And like again, I'm not the one who can say who can and can't be trans icons, right? Realistically, that's completely out of my capacities. I just don't personally see the connection beyond like a cross-dressing main character.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly understandable, and that's fine. But I think the crux of the issue is that there has been so little representation. That a lot of trans people have kind of attached themselves to Cybersix. And rightfully so, because there's just nothing, to be honest. And like, yes, you are right in the sense that on paper, the character is not trans, the character is cross-dressing. But it's not played for a joke. It's never played for a joke, and it's quite sweet at moments. And we mentioned it before, the kind of romantic aspect of Lucas seems to be attracted to both Adrian and Cybersix.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. I guess it's just because of the fact that I what's the term for it? I pre-code like romance films as an offer to be a to be a propositional like offer, right? That like from media that I've digested in my past, like if you were to ask someone to a romance film, you're asking them on a date, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas, I mean, technically speaking, you can invite your homies to go anywhere, really. You know, it doesn't like maybe that's me being narrow-minded, but I feel like that approach, like as much as I said I believe my words were that asking on a date. I think I said it. I said a half in joke. I feel like saying that it's not a valid reading is kind of robbing something from the potentiality of a reading from the story, which I kind of like.
No, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not a valid reading. Like this is something that you can read a lot into in a lot of different perspectives. And you can't say it doesn't play with gender because it does, but like kind of maybe not Rama halves. That's probably a bad example, but something akin to what you see in a lot of kind of 80s and 90s anime that does a similar thing. Because obviously it's not really an anime, but it kind of is, and it's in a weird gray area. No one can really deny how much it did for a lot of trans people growing up, and I think that's more my point.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Like again, I already said I'm not the forefront on this.
Yeah,
you when in need, you find your icons where they are, right? And even
exactly.
beyond that,
that's it. That's literally it. I couldn't put it better myself.
But you know, I'm not trying to rob you. I'm not trying to rob you of it. I'm just saying that was like the reading that I took away from it ultimately.
I read it that way because I'm me.
Yeah, it's true.
And 100%. You read it your way because you're you, and that's it. Like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. They can coexist.
Yeah.
Like, if we agreed on everything, this would be a boring podcast.
True, very fucking true.
Yeah.
But yeah, like onto beyond that, because that was kind of the main. I'll be real. That was like the main reason that like you got me right into this. All right, you were because like. You fucking swindled me into an anime review, all right?
Yeah, pretty much. This isn't an anime, but it totally is an anime.
And like one of the main hooks with it was I mean, I think you presented it as like it being a very trans positive show, which it is. Which I then kind of assumed to be that the character was indicatively trans, right? Which is probably like a folly on my part to assume that a show of like in like the 90s was capable of creating a trans character, right?
Yeah.
That was something I guess on my end. But beyond that little part, which I feel like I said my piece on, the pacing's good. No, sorry, the pacing's not good. The animation in part it's very, very nice and very interesting and very like very work of art, beautiful, right? Like in between frames are kept in such a fantastic way that like everything seems so fucking like beautifully lifelike at points.
I would also say the character design specifically as well, I think stood out quite a bit.
Yeah, and is very true to the original, which is cool.
Oh, nice, good to hear.
Yeah.
I know you weren't huge on it, but personally to me, the music itself framed the show quite well in its environment. And that's something that means quite a lot to me.
Yeah.
It's something I look for in the media I watch, and I think Cybersix personally does it quite well.
I think my main gripe is with the intro and like outro music. They don't resonate with me enough as like a good like show hook or a but like the main orchestration. The main orchestration of the show is pretty good. It has like that nice classic European kind of feel to it, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, no, it was good. And I think that's kind of our thoughts on it. I think that was a decent rundown of what it is. If you're interested in watching the show, it's all on YouTube legally.
Yeah, and speaking on that a little bit as well, is that the show was originally scheduled for 2 seasons, the classic 52, which is, you know, the show being like getting 13 episodes per season, which usually for a show's runtime is like 2 mini episodes. So if you have like your 2 13s is 26, by 2 is 52. So that's like a usual, like a block that shows are kind of like, you know, sold in to like the producers. Production studios who would then show it to sell it to a network. The network would buy that much runtime, trying to add like a little bit of like fun cartoon stuff, because people that listen to this might know about cartoons like we kind of know the intricacies of it a little bit more, you know. So it was supposed to get Classic 52, but unfortunately a conflict between NOA, which is the Canadian production company, and TMS caused the show to not reach its second season broadcast, which is a shame. Which is like a shame, right? Like as much as I kind of ragged on the show a little bit, right? And I'm not huge on it, right? I'm not exactly going to be like, I'm not the town crier going to say the show's great. Like I think it's good. And regardless, it has a fascinating art style, has a fascinating like lead protagonist and general kind of show idea, and it could have sown the seeds for so many more future weebs that like.
Absolutely.
It's a shame that I didn't get its whole 2 seasons.
It got cut down its prime, and that's always going to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because I think, as far as I know, the writers were in full thought that they were going to get 52 episodes.
Yeah.
The pacing's a little off, but maybe if they knew they were going to get 13, they could have kind of just done some more things with it.
Give it can I give it a rating system? I don't think we haven't formalized a rating system yet, but in the
Not
future.
Really, no.
In the future, we may be having a rating system. Who knows? Maybe not.
I would seek it out and just give it a try, especially if you're interested in early queer coded characters or like at least vaguely queer coded.
There's a good representation of queer media. I unfortunately wouldn't recommend it too strongly.
No, that's fine. Yeah. It's not going to be for everyone. I personally, I'm quite attached to it, but again, I'm going to be biased.
100%. Yeah. 100%. All right, and we have been your Calamities. This has been Cartoon Calamity. We love you. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, beautiful whatever you're doing right now.
Yeah. See you later. Thank you so much to the Cartoon Calamity listeners. You make the show what it is, and we are so happy you are enjoying the show. Thank you so much again. If you want to contact us, make sure you get in contact with our Twitter @cartoon_podcast or on Facebook, Cartoon Calamity. You will see us there. If you can't reach us there, we are on email as well, cartooncalamitypodcast@gmail.com. Email us with any queries you may have about the show, or just tell us how cool or bad we are. We just love engagement in general. And a special thank you to everybody on Patreon who subscribes to Cartoon Calamity. You are the guys who keep the lights on. You are the bread and butter of this show. And a special thank you to Lord Liquorcash, Charlene Rodriguez, Lauren Walsh Foodie, Olivia Ronan, Laura Doyle, Mark Breen, Ty Fleener, and Yasser.